Every year, the firearms industry rolls out a new wave of carry pistols. Most arrive with fanfare, but soon fade into the background, forgotten as shooters return to their trusted sidearm. But 2025 is not just another year. Something different is happening right now. This year feels like a turning point. Companies aren't just adding features to check off a list. They're rewriting the standards for what a concealed carry pistol should be. Higher capacity crammed into slimmer frames. Optics cut straight from the factory. Triggers so refined they feel custom out of the box. Ergonomics shaped for real hands instead of marketing brochures. And reliability engineered to survive the unthinkable. It doesn't matter if you've carried for decades or if you're buying your very first pistol. The choices available today prove the bar has officially been raised. This isn't an incremental step forward, it's a full-on leap. Some of these pistols are bold reinventions of classics, some are cutting-edge newcomers, and a few are unexpected dark horses ready to shock skeptics. Each one deserves a place on this list, not because of hype, but because of how it performs under pressure. So let's tear through the lineup of 9 pistols dominating 2025. They're presented without bias, no best to worst. Each has its own strength, its own philosophy of design. Each is worth a hard look if you want to know where the concealed carry world is headed. We start with Walther. The PDP Compact is not the loudest name on the market, but ask anyone who has actually pulled the trigger, and you'll hear the same story. It is the real deal. Walther's striker-fired trigger system has earned near universal respect. Clean take-up, crisp break, and a reset that feels like lightning snapping back into place. For defensive shooting, that translates into faster follow-ups and more natural accuracy. Standard capacity lands at 15 rounds, the golden mean for carry pistols. Enough to carry with confidence, without swelling into the bulk of a duty gun. But the magic lies in its ergonomics. Aggressive texture keeps it locked in under stress, interchangeable back straps tune it for your hand, and the grip angle feels like it was carved by human instinct instead of a committee. It is optics ready straight from the box. Walther didn't just allow for red dots, they practically dared you not to mount one. Pair it with a micro red dot and the pistol instantly elevates, punching well above its compact size. Recoil, soft and smooth, even with hotter defensive loads. The slide cuts and recoil spring do their job, leaving you with control that surprises first-time shooters. Yes, it carries a higher price tag, but with Walther, you're paying for refinement, not flat. The PDP Compact proves one thing: when ergonomics and trigger quality collide, good turns into great. But Walther isn't alone. Springfield Armory has thrown down a gauntlet of its own. The Prodigy is their bold answer for shooters who crave the legendary feel of the 1911 but demand modern firepower. Forget the old single-stack design. The Prodigy is a double-stack 9mm delivering 17 and 20-round magazine. That's full-size duty capacity in a platform built around surgical precision. A 5-inch bull barrel ensures every shot carries authority. The single-action trigger, crisp, deliberate, predictable. Add Springfield's bright green fiber optic front sight, and tracking your target between shots feels almost unfair. And yet, Springfield didn't stop at tradition. They made it optics ready right out of the gate. Slap a red dot on top, and the Prodigy transforms into a monster equally at home in competition or defensive roles. The grip is chunky, yes, that's the price for stuffing in 20 rounds. But Springfield softened the blow with textured panels and a checkered backstrap. In sweaty matches or grueling training, that traction is the difference between fumbling and finishing strong. The Prodigy takes the DNA of the timeless 1911 and injects it with 21st century adrenaline. It is not your grandfather's sidearm. It's a battle-ready hybrid for those who demand classic control without sacrificing modern dominance. And then comes Glock. The Glock 43 XMOS has taken America's carry market by storm. Why? Because it hits that elusive middle ground. It blends the slim concealability of the Glock 43 with the control of a slightly larger frame. Factory setup gives you 10 rounds, but aftermarket shield magazines push that to 15. Think about that. Glock 19 level capacity without the bulk. A pistol that disappears under a t-shirt but fights like a full size when you draw. Add Glock's MOS cut for micro red dots, and suddenly you have a weapon that morphs into whatever role you need. The grip texture is classic Glock, mild but effective. It points naturally, shoots predictably, and stays controllable under recoil. The reliability, as always with Glock, it just runs. In states where concealability is everything, the 43 XMOS has become a phenomenon, hailed as the new gold standard of everyday carry. For newcomers, it feels approachable. For veterans, it feels familiar. For everyone, it feels right. 3 pistols in, and the story's already clear. 2025 isn't about minor tweaks. It's about pistols that redefine the balance between concealability, capacity, and control. And the next contender pushes that balance even further. The rise of the dark horses, Shadow Systems DR920L walks into the ring like a fighter who's been training in secret. At first glance, it wears Glock DNA, but the details tell a different story, one of deliberate refinement and practical aggression. A 5.3-inch barrel stretches the sight radius, pulling groups tighter and turning rapid strings into connected bursts instead of a scattered spray. The grip is sculpted like a custom build. Pronounced beaver tail, aggressive thumb rests, and texturing where your hand actually grabs, not just where the marketing brochure says you should. Deep slide serrations, a chamber port, and a subtle, almost cinematic profile give it that movie-ready presence, but the upgrades are more than cosmetic. Fiber optic front sight and a plain rear deliver an immediately usable sight picture. The optics ready slide means you can bolt on a micro red dot and gain a precision edge that belies the pistol's compact footprint. Add a flared magwell and a railed chassis for lights, and you've got a pistol that transitions effortlessly from range toy to bedside sentinel. Reliability? It runs like the lineage it respects, but with the kind of ergonomic intelligence shooters notice after the first magazine. Bottom line, DR920L is the custom pistol you can carry every day without missing a beat. Sig Sauer's P365X macro tac ops stretched a well-known platform into something that blurred the line between compact and carry legend. The genius is in the scaling, a slim silhouette that still takes a 17-round stick, matching firepower you used to expect only from larger platforms. The elongated grip module locks into the hand, extended magwell speeds, reloads, and the recoil system tames muzzle flip, so follow-ups remain surgical. Optics ready for a compact weapon light on the rail, and tuned to stay flat under rapid fire. This pistol feels like cheating. The trigger lands in a defensible sweet spot, not match grade, but crisp, predictable, and easy to manage under stress. In drills, it behaves like a gun a size up, and for many, that balance is why the P365X macro tac ops has become the carry choice for those who refuse compromise. Heckler & Koch VP9SK takes premium DNA and compresses it into a subcompact that refuses to feel small. With ergonomics built around interchangeability, backstraps, and side panels, the SK fits a wide spectrum of hands like a tailored glove. The trigger signature is unmistakably H. Light take-up, a clean break, and a short audible reset that breeds confidence. Pointability and natural sight alignment turn pressured shots into predictable hits. Optics ready and rail ready, the SK is the pocket-sized specialist that won't embarrass you when the shooting gets serious. Smith & Wesson's M&P 9 M2.0 metal is the steel frame answer to anyone who missed the heft. The extra mass soaks recoil, gives a planted feel, and makes follow-up shots smoother. Interchangeable backstraps, aggressive texture, and 3-slot Picatinny rail make this a tool, not an ornament. Optics ready slide and ample capacity pair modern practicality with old-school stability. The CZP-10C is quiet but lethal in its competence. 15 rounds standard, a balanced grip angle that points like instinct, and a trigger with minimal take-up make it a favorite for shooters who value surgical simplicity. It doesn't shout, but it gets the job done, dependably and accurately. Finally, Glock 47 MOS, the modular workhorse. Full-size slide on G19 rails, Gen 5 refinements, ambidextrous controls, and Glock's reputation for unflappable reliability. 17 rounds, modularity to swap slides and frames, and an optics-ready platform that promises longevity. It doesn't reinvent anything, it perfects the toolbox. These 6 finishers aren't just pistols, they're arguments. Arguments about what concealed carry should feel like, how it should perform, and who it should protect. Each one raises the stakes in its own way: ergonomics, capacity, control, or sheer adaptability. The question now isn't which is best on paper, it's which one will be the one you trust when the lights go out and decisions become irreversible. Final reckoning, when choice becomes consequence. Now imagine it's late, the streetlights are throwing long shadows, and the quiet you trusted feels thin as tissue. That's the exact moment a pistol stops being a debate about features and becomes an extension of a life or death decision. Up until now, we've argued ergonomics, trigger cadence, magazine counts, and optics readiness. Those arguments matter. They shape how fast you can break the shot, how cleanly you can recover, and how likely you are to walk away. But the deeper truth is raw. In the instant you must act, your relationship with the tool in your hand defines the moral weight of your choice, the legal aftermath you'll face, and the human cost that follows. Carrying in 2025 is not a private hobby. It sits at the crossroads of culture, law, and personal responsibility. Courts, legislators, and community narratives are watching. A single misjudgment can trigger criminal charges, civil suits, or worse, the irreversible loss of a neighbor, friend, or loved one. That's why the pistols we choose must do more than feed our ego or line up on social media. They must be predictable under stress, controllable beyond ego-driven drills, and forgiving when instinct overshoots training. The Walther PDP Compact, the Springfield Armory DS Prodigy, the Glock 43X MOS, the Shadow Systems DR920L, the Sig Sauer P365X Macro Tac Ops, the HKVP 9SK, the Smith & Wesson M&P 9M 2.0 metal, the CZP-10C, and the Glock 47 MOS. Each of these machines carries a philosophy about that responsibility. Training is the bridge between hardware and humanity. You can own the smoothest trigger in the world, but without hours of deliberate practice, you will not convert a polished mechanical advantage into ethical advantage. Repetition, scenario work, and honest failure are the only antidotes to the paralysis that comes when reality diverges from rehearsal. When your pistol is an extension of practice motion, you buy fractions of seconds and inches of accuracy that translate into lives spared. When it's not, even the best pistol becomes a tragic footnote. We also have to reckon with policy. As pistols grow more capable, higher capacities in smaller footprints, optics that turn point and shoot into point and hit public debate intensifies. Legislators will ask uncomfortable questions about trade-offs between individual self-defense and communal risk. Will capacity limits, red dot regulations, or training mandates follow the tech curve? Those are not hypothetical anymore. They are public policy axes that will pivot very fast if incidents change the political calculus. Manufacturers, retailers, and owners all share a stake in a debate that will decide the future shape of lawful carry. Finally, there is the human story behind every choice. The parent who picks a pistol to sleep better at night, the off-duty officer who wants a reliable tool, the new carrier who feels empowerment and fear in the same breath. These are not marketing personas. They are real people whose lives will be altered by what we decide today. The firearms themselves are instruments, but the decisions surrounding them are moral and communal. So which pistol will you trust when the light goes out? Which chassis will your muscle memory choose under pressure? Which grip will sit right when your hands tremble? The truth is brutal and simple. The right answer is not the loudest one, the flashiest one, or the one with the biggest internet fan club. The right answer is the one you can handle in training, in law, and in the scariest moments life invents.